Willow was talking to Drew, who is still in his statue state. A stat Drew, if you will. Okay, that was stupid. What is up, everybody? Here for a quick review of yesterday's episode of General Hospital. As Nina was on the phone, Brennan came in and just hung up on her, even though she said she was on an important phone call. Brennan was really being ridiculous in yesterday's episode, in my opinion. I get that Brennan really wants to find Valentine, and that Nina is supposed to be getting information from Charlotte, and she is kind of beating around the bush because Nina doesn't want to ruin her relationship with Charlotte. But Brennan had nothing but threats for Nina yesterday, telling Nina that if he finds Valentine through another source or on his own, Willow is done. He's going to have the evidence that he made disappear from Willow killing Drew come back to the forefront. So after that, Nina was in a bad mood, really trying to be a bitch to Jacinda at work, giving her a bunch of work to do by the end of the day. Even though I saw someone online make a good point that in this day and age, unfortunately, with AI, everything that Nina was telling Jacinda to do, she probably could have done by the end of the day easily if she just went and used that damn AI. But anyway, Willow was talking to Drew, who is still in his statue state. A stat Drew, if you will. Okay, that was stupid. But anyway, Willow was yapping to Drew, who is still basically in his awakened coma, but can still hear what Willow is saying. Willow is saying that she wants to help Chase and Brooklyn today with the adoption. And then Willow was yapping on and on about how could Trina know about Wiley's ringtone being Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Nina was stressed after Brennan confronted her, showed up to talk to Willow, but Willow had stressed herself out about Trina and Kai, so Willow was leaving as Nina arrived. And while Nina was alone, Michael arrived and had some moments with the stats Drew as well. Michael started this episode with Trina and Kai. Actually, the episode started with Trina talking about her upcoming performance, where she is going to give a singing performance, I guess. As I said yesterday, the show has no idea what to do with Trina. In one storyline, she's going to start singing. In another, she's going to become a co-baseball coach with Kai. Just kind of all over the place. But at least they have her involved with this Willow storyline right now, I guess. Because Kai and Trina were talking about knowing how Willow shot Drew in the back and tried to let Michael go down for it. That's when Michael interrupted them to talk to them about how Michael wants Wiley to be on one of Kai's Little League teams. But when Michael left, Trina and Kai were yapping with their door open, of course, like some typical soap opera tropes. So Willow came and overheard them talking about her and how she is the one that shot Drew. So this could be trouble for Trina and Kai if Dark Willow really wants to come after them for knowing too much. Maybe it at least gives a little more excitement to a Trina and Kai storyline, but I won't hold my breath. Laura and Lulu were having a conversation. Laura wanted to know what was wrong with her daughter, and Lulu wants a favor by the mayor, who is Laura, about the attempted murder on WSB agent Cullum. Lulu wants Laura to talk to old WSB people that she knows, old contacts, to try and help Jason and see where Jason is so they can find Jason. Laura wants to know why Lulu wants to find Jason so bad, and Lulu's excuse was that she is concerned about Rocco and Danny because both of them are just so upset about Jason. Obviously, Danny being Jason's son, and apparently Rocco and Danny are just so close. But then Ezra showed up, joining them to just be an asshole for the rest of the episode. Although he did entertain me being an asshole for the rest of this episode. He was just running down Jason, talking about how Jason's a cold-blooded killer, that PCPD has been trying to take down Jason for so long, and he's happy that the WSB is taking Jason off of their hands. When Laura and Ezra were alone, Ezra tried to convince Laura to publicly condemn Jason and Sunny. He was saying this is because it's a warning to keep Sidwell happy. Laura wasn't really going for it unless it really comes from Sidwell. It's just the show reminding us that Sidwell just has so many people under his thumb. It's actually getting on my nerves now at this point. I've already found it ridiculous since I started watching G8s off and on again at the end of last year, but now it's becoming even more ridiculous how much this show has Sidwell involved in way too many things. They are just really wearing that character thin. The best part of yesterday's episode was probably Lucas. There was some good acting, although over the top at points too, but Lucas visited Britt. He was looking rough. He told Britt that Cullum regained consciousness. Britt wanted Lucas to say what she thought Lucas was thinking, that Britt is the reason that Marco is dead. But Lucas is blaming himself. He says that he is the reason that Marco is dead. He inserted himself in something he shouldn't, and he made Marco do all of this to prove to him that Marco still loved Lucas. Lucas is saying it was basically a test for Marco, and Lucas was being selfish and stupid. Britt tried to, I guess, console Lucas a little bit before telling Lucas that Cullum destroyed the medicine that day at the pier. So Lucas now feels like Marco's death was for nothing. She then told Lucas about what happened at the pier, and Lucas tried to figure out how Cullum could have known that Britt was at the pier. And thankfully, Lucas put it together that Cullum must have read Marco's texts from Lucas, and that's how he knew that Britt was at the pier. And Lucas comes to the realization that Cullum killed Marco, which I'm glad was not stretched out. I'm actually surprised it has not been stretched out with people figuring out that Cullum killed Marco. It also already gave us the turmoil for Lucas that he realized that at the same time he was doing surgery on Cullum, fighting to save Cullum's life, Marco was fighting for his life, and Cullum's the one that ended up stabbing Marco in the first place. So all of that was very well done, in my opinion. Lucas told Britt that Sidwell started all of this and that he is responsible for everything that happened. Lucas said that Marco's death has to mean something, and Lucas had a look in his eye like he was gonna do something, which is why I said Van Hanen, whatever his name is, Van, who plays Lucas, was doing a good job in these scenes. Britt told Lucas to not do something crazy, but Lucas did leave in a huff. Meanwhile, not so Nathan, as we discussed yesterday with Tuesday's episode, Sidwell gave us the big reveal, well, the supposedly big reveal, that Nathan is not the real Nathan. He is Cassius Faison. We found out during these scenes that he is indeed a twin. Sidwell was saying that Nathan has taken over, well, this fake Nathan, Cassius. I'm going to call him Not So Nathan for every time I talk about him, I think. But Not So Nathan, according to Sidwell, is doing a brilliant job of being the real Nathan and has everyone fooled. Not So Nathan doesn't think that they should be talking about this so loud because someone can overhear them and blow their cover. Basically, this is who Sidwell has on the inside of the PCPD, as Alicia and I discussed in the comments yesterday. Cassius, aka Not So Nathan, doesn't think the real Nathan would go to the PCPD and push so hard about this case, but Sidwell wants him to, so he agrees to do it because, Sidwell just has everyone under his thumb. I do want to see how the show explains Nathan and Not So Nathan being twins, because wouldn't Obrecht have realized that there was a twin? I mean, I've never liked that character at all, but I do want to see how that is explained. I'm sure to be not so well explained. But Not So Nathan thanks Sidwell for setting him up for success when Sidwell poisoned Maxie Jones. So just another thing Sidwell has done. So many things. It's really over the top. Anyway, per usual, Sidwell wants to make Sunny pay if he is the one that took Marco's life. But then Lucas came in like a bat out of hell. He burst in wanting to talk to Sidwell, not about Marco. Lucas asks Sidwell, doesn't he want to know why Marco was murdered? I'm hoping Lucas tells Sidwell that Cullum is the one responsible, because I do want to see what Sidwell does with that information. But Lucas is coming over to really be mad at Sidwell. I'm going to be annoyed if that information is still kept from Sidwell. I mean, it doesn't make sense that if they are all figuring out that Cullum is the one that killed Marco, and then shouldn't they want Cullum and Sidwell to go after each other? It only makes sense for our heroes in this storyline. The only other thing that happened in this episode was Nathan finding, well, not so Nathan, finding Lulu at the pier towards the end of the episode, and not so Nathan comforting Lulu, telling her it's best to let this go because Lulu was at the pier where Rocco is responsible for shooting Cullum, that she's so worried about her son now. I guess we could have a future good response to how Lulu feels about being with not so Nathan, a man lying about who he really is, but I'm really not invested in that couple quite yet. And that was yesterday's episode of General Hospital. A solid enough episode for me. I do think Lucas was the best part of the episode, though. And I am looking forward to his scenes with Sidwell in today's episode. I don't know how my reviews over the next 2 episodes of GH is going to go, because I have things to do with this weekend. So they might be on at random times, or I unfortunately might not be able to get to them. But I'm going to try my best. I should be able to review today's episode at some point. It's more so Friday's episode that might be tough.